Dala, Dala, Dala. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, in this episode of Wisdom Letters, I am going to answer a simple question that has been sent to me many, many times. And the question is Maat for everyone? Should everyone be invited or be required to follow the principle of Maat? Well, the answer to me is pretty simple. Maat is not a religion. Maat are principles that were offered to us, human beings, and they should be seen as an invitation, meaning if you feel cold, follow this principle. Do it because you want to. Don't do it because your friends are doing it. Don't do it because your girlfriend or the person you're interested in it is doing it. Do it because you've looked at those principles. Maybe you've tried applying them and they actually benefit you. They actually give you something. They actually offer you something that enhance your life. They make you feel good. They make you feel better. They improve something within yourself. This is really the core of what Maat is. It is a personal journey through which you find great satisfaction, through which you see how your own life improves, changes for the better. I underline that it is not a religion in the sense that we know what religion are today, meaning it is not your job. Nowhere in the principle are you told to convert people to Maat, to search people, to force people to listen to it, to know about it. It's not about that. Individuals that need Maat in their lives will come across it. You have to understand that in African spirituality, there's no such thing as having missionaries. There's no such thing as going around spreading whatever needs to be spread. There's no such thing as trying to convert people, and making them revert, forcing them to do such and such. Everyone has free will. Even when you look at the Kemetic history, Egyptian ancient history, Egyptians did not go around converting people into their own culture. Even though the Egyptian empire was one of the largest in history, spreading from the Mediterranean all the way to India, and yet if you go across and you look at the different countries that used to be part of this empire, each of them remain with their own distinct culture. Why? Because only those who were called to use this principle or to this principle actually went towards it and learned about it. When you look at the drawing on the walls, you can see that people from all over the world came to learn at Kemet. So this should teach you, this should show you that your mission is not to tell everyone you know about the laws of Maat. And believe me, I do understand. Some of you are new, some of you are just finding out those principles. So you have a lot of excitement within yourself. But you also have to balance this excitement with the application that is required for you to fully understand it. When you look at the 40-second principle, sometimes you may just feel so compelled to apply them, and you may even feel so much joy because some of you have been searching for a long time and finally coming across it because you're finally ready to explore them further. And this journey that you've taken from the moment that you didn't know, that you researched and you finally found it, let that be someone else's journey as well. No one came and shook you down and forced you to sit down and read those principles and apply them in your life. On the contrary, your inner compass led you to this video, led you to researching more about certain things, and the moment you were ready, all of that came before you. And so will it come before others who also need it. Therefore, there is no need for you to try to convince others. There is no need for you to try to impose this on other individuals. you will actually do a disservice of what those principles actually teach. When you look at my series on Maat, and I will leave a link in the description box where you will find the episode. We are up to 9 episodes so far. You will see that in the principle, I haven't touched that episode yet, but there is a principle that calls upon you to honor what is sacred to others. So you cannot honor what is sacred to others when you disregard their personal beliefs, meaning if they're part of a different religion, they're part of a different culture, they do not aspire to what you are aspiring, they're not on the same path or the same journey that you are, they are having their own spiritual journey. So you barging into that and imposing your views on them is not a way to honor what they deem to be sacred. Okay, so it's very important to recognize that the same willpower that you had to come across Maat, everyone else has it. I know it can be a little bit harsh because you probably thought that you woke and you just been enlightened and you're the only one and nobody's like you. No, many people, everybody has a capacity to come across Maat when they want to, when they're called to, and when they need it. Therefore, it's much more conducive for you to focus on your own journey, to focus on the thing that you need to apply within your life, the thing that you need to change within your own life. And believe me, beloved, there's enough work to be done in that area for you to just concentrate on yourself and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. And this goes to pair with saying that Maat or African spirituality, as a matter of fact, any form of spirituality does not need anybody to protect it. This is one of the biggest distortions I've seen. Spirituality does not need you to protect it. There's a reason why we're talking about spirit and energy and the divine. The divine does not need you to protect it. Things that you thought people forgot. If they had forgotten, or if it was forgotten, nobody will be talking about it. And sometimes things need to be forgotten so that they're rediscovered with a different angle, so that they are revisited. But they didn't go anywhere, they didn't disappear. No one can disappear. Collective consciousness contains everything that ever was and everything that will ever be. And that will not disappear. This is what the divine will not disappear. So rest assured, stop worrying about what somebody is doing. If somebody is telling you about a different religion and you go towards it, that is not taking anything away from African spirituality or from any other spirituality for that matter. Because those who are called to those systems will always be there. This system is still here today because there are still people nurturing them, guiding them, and transmitting knowledge within all of those systems. You wouldn't hear about it if there wasn't anyone still today nurturing it. This is how you're able to access it through meditation, because someone else is nurturing it. Whether you know that person, whether that person is on the other side of the world, or right next door to you. And it doesn't matter what race, culture that person is. This is why you can see people leaving their part of the world and going to a completely different part of the world and being entrusted with knowledge. Because knowledge does not know the frontiers that you are holding on as barriers or limitations. When there is spiritual knowledge that needs to be transferred, whoever is open to it, whoever is seeking it, will find it. That's one of the core main principle, basic principle. Those who seek will always find. So they have no fear that something will be forgotten, hidden, or anything like that. Anyone who seeks knowledge will find it, no matter how deeply hidden it is, no matter where it is, no matter. It all depends on if they really want to know. The truth always comes to light. And those who seek will always find. This is why it always said, if you seek something, the only way you'll not find it is if you give up. It's just how about you want to get it? How about you actually want to know? And knowing is not just reading books. It's not just talking about it, debating about it, assessing what others are doing. Knowledge and wisdom is actually acquired through replication, to the experiences that you accumulate throughout time. When you look at a principle, it's not just the principle in itself, it's not just the understanding of the principle, but it's the experience that you have with it. This is one of the core aspects that I do offer on my channel and in my teachings and with my students. You won't get it just understand it. You won't get it just comprehending it. You will get it when you start living it. Maat is a living concept. The principles are provided so that you can embody them in your daily life. This is what makes it challenging. And this is also why it's not for everybody. It's not a requirement. You may have a very fulfilling life without ever coming across the principle of Maat. So please, beloved, stop expecting everyone to follow the same path that you are. Worry about your own destiny. Worry about your own fulfillment. Worry about your own journey. And let those who are meant to come to Maat come to it. Maat will call on to them, and it will be up to them to accept or to refuse. And doing either one does not make them better human beings. Please understand this. All spiritual paths are just that, spiritual path. One is not better than the other. One of the reasons why I do focus on African spirituality and Maat is because that is my path to take. I also explore the systems. I don't see or view the system as better or less than. I just said which one is beneficial for you at this time. That's what is most important. Whether you used to be a Christian does not make you a bad person. Whether you are leaving African spirituality to go towards Christianity does not make you a bad person either. You must go where you are being called to because there is something there for you to learn. There is something there for you that will help you on your journey. There is a calling. There is this invitation. You're feeling that calling because you need it. The same way, if you feel being called towards Maat, it's because you need it. This is also tied to another comment that was saying that, there aren't many people who follow Maat, and the world can be very harsh, and people can be very cruel. And guess what, beloved? Even if you don't follow Maat, the world that you're describing will still continue to exist if that's a reality you're experiencing. Just like you have the free will to follow Maat, other people have the free will to do other things. To do things that pleases them, the way they want it to be done. Therefore, you can't expect the world to fit into what you want. All you can do is do the things that will be fulfilling to you, regardless of the expectation of the world. The same way people will blame society, and I have videos coming up in terms of when people say society expect this from me, society expect that from me. It's very clear that you don't understand what society is and how it works. If you are blaming anything that any of your decisions or pressure or expectation on society, it means that you don't understand who is society, what is society, and how it works. And don't worry, I will have a separate video on that. But to get back on the question is that no, Maat is not for everyone. Just like eating salad is not for everyone. You can sit here and say how much eating salad is healthy and this and that, but there are cultures where they have no concept of what a salad is. Okay, they have the different meal that they have. It doesn't mean they have any carences. It doesn't mean they're lacking in nutrition. It just means they don't know what salad is, and they may not need to. The same way, not everyone wants to apply those principles. Not everyone is seeking them, and not everyone needs them. If you claim to be a student of mine, or if you claim to want to enjoying my content and enjoying my teaching, this is something that you will need to grasp. It is very important that you grasp that. You should be focusing on your own journey, focusing on the thing that you need to correct in your own path, on your own path. Maat, when you start applying those principles, you have very little time to be judging other people when you're applying them correctly with the focus that it actually requires. It won't leave you that little gap where you're judging other people and assessing what other people are doing or not doing. Again, it's different if you are talking about your own children and the knowledge that you want to transmit to your children, to the people who who entrusted you with certain authorities. The people you are teaching, if you are a teacher as well, if you're a coach, or if you are a spiritual leader of some kind, then you have received and you're entrusted with some form of responsibility to teach those who you lead. And even in that position, and if you want to transmit and teach them about Maat, the best way to do that is through example, by showing them how you are applying it in your own life, talking about your achievements, but also talking about your struggles. How did it help you overcome those struggles? How did it help you reach your objectives and the achievement that you've made? And this is why when you look at my series on Maat, I'm not talking about ancient Egyptian rituals and all of that. I'm going straight down to the basics. The minimum that you need to understand today in this society. For most of you living in urban area, living in cities with millions of other people. Okay, you don't have the luxury of being in a monastery somewhere where you're secluded and you're only focusing on your spirituality. It's much, much harder to have and work a spiritual path or a spiritual journey when you are still part of the world, exchanging within the world, and living in society, having to deal with interaction with different people from different culture that thinks different things, that are on different path and that want something different than you. It's often much more easier to be going off in a secluded community of people who think like you, who are on the same path. It will make things much, much easier. But for those of us, for most of us, me included, we are living in an environment where we live with other people that also enjoy the freedom of doing other things or following their own journey and their own path. And to me, this is something that needs to be celebrated. I don't worry, I don't fear anything about other people fulfilling their own journey. My path called me to Maat. This is what I share. This is what I am here to offer. It doesn't make my path any better or worse than any others. But it does provide guidance to those who are seeking it. That's my purpose. I cannot jump and do all kind of different things. I do offer many things on my channel, nevertheless, but African spirituality is the core, and I don't do it from a place of protection. I do it because I do know that some of you are looking for this information, that some of you have already set intention to find more about this specific path, and this is why you came across me. So the answer to the question is simple. Focus on your own path, and you won't worry about what you need to tell somebody and who you need to bring to Maat or to force into Maat. Let everyone else enjoy their own power. Let anyone else enjoy their own freedom, their own free will to choose freely what they want to do with their power, what they want to do with their lives. Maat is a call. Maat is a delicious invitation for those who are ready and willing to accept it. So thank you very much. If you would like to send me your question for a wisdom letter, please use the email in the description box, MlleCammy@gmail.com, and I will add it to the list of letters that I will read or answer to in this particular series. If you like this video and you want me to do more videos on your letters, please feel free to like the video and let me know in the comment. If you also would like to add on to what I've shared or to give your comments, your views, please do it respectfully in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.